Salutations and hello to all the world. I mean it though, God bless us everyone. Sometimes when life doesn't just give you lemons, but life slices them into wedges, making sure to remove every pesky seed, even going so far as pulling out all the stringy, tough, pulpy bits, making sure that only the most flawless of them gather in the ceramic old lady dish set neatly in the center of his breakfast nook's table. Then, life will invite you inside on a hot summer's day with promises of some refreshing, sweet southern iced tea. Brewed to perfection, then chilled at precisely the right moment to really bring the flavor bouquet out of all those tea leaves. Then the moment you cross into the threshold of the quaint farmer's cottage that life had inherited from his paw, with the promise of making the lima bean profitable once more, good luck. Life produces a baseball bat from behind his back, and with a swift, flawlessly formed swing, breaks both your shins. Laughing the whole time, as if he had just been watching the latest Adam Sandler rom-com. Then he calls all his rowdy friends in from the other room. You're pretty sure one's got a gimp mask on that's painted to look like Snagglepuss, but you can't be sure because by this point the cacophony of joviality stems from the fact that those lovingly prepared lemons have been brutishly squeezed with every drop of acidic juice, so on target, it just pools over your eyes. But I'll tell you a little something. You can't let a little redneck lemon parade ruin your life. A great man once told me in song, "Nothing's ever gonna break my stride. Nobody's gonna hold me down. Oh no, I got to keep on moving." And I like to think he was singing about the exact situation that I just spoke of. And then, cry a little.
Nobody's gonna slow me down. Oh no, I got to keep on moving. Ain't nothing gonna bring it aside. I'm running in on that ground. Oh no, I got to keep on moving. You're on the roll and now you play.
Hello. Hi, Chris. Hi. Yeah. You tripped me up, and I'm like, I had a whole really cool thing at the beginning. I was counting. You know what is weird is on the really crappy Egyptian episode, when I was reading that guy's story, I swear to God, I thought you said something to me, and that's why I stopped and was like, what? And I'm wearing headphones. I'm wearing headphones, so it's not like I heard something outside of them, because I really can't. But c'est la vie, as the Portuguese hate the French for saying. Welcome to another really fun, swindling old ladies episode of See No, Hear No, Speak No.
That was a strange intro to the UFOs, the conspiracies. I'm not sure yet where the old ladies fit in, or why they're dwindling. But perhaps there's some Midas. Who knows?
Okay.
Oh, where the fuck is James?
Good job, James. Why is it that we can't get a co-host with fucking timing?
Dude, like, what? He pulled a Rob on us. Or a fucking, what
No.
What was, damn, why can I never remember?
James T. Abbott.
That's
I'm sorry, did I mess something up there
T.
for
Abbott.
you?
Mm-hmm.
Why can't I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Jonathan. I really enjoyed your company. It's not that I didn't like you.
Oh, and just so everybody out there knows,
yeah.
Pulling a Rob is actually forcing people into a dick measuring contest.
Or threatening Jesse the Body Ventura.
And the loser has to braid Rob's back hair.
Wow. I'll take that over his pits any day.
I miss you, Rob. I'm pouring some out on the ground for you. It's
Whoa.
That's one for the homie.
It's Infamil, because that's just the closest liquid I have. And I have an infant who drinks things from Mills. So, on tonight's super special, extra special, awesome to the max episode of the show that we just all fucking introduced, I'm Jason Rambo, Chris Barrios, slash, Magistus the Triss, slash, hi, Chris,
right.
and also backslash.
See, it's a title. It's not just a name. That's the thing.
I know.
That's what you haven't yet grown to understand.
No, I've grown.
And to really embrace.
I've grown to understand it, and I embraced it. And then
Embrace it.
I do my best to shun it whenever possible.
Embrace it with your cheeks and then clench like you're popping a fucking prairie dog and you're in the middle of the mall surrounded by hot girls.
I mean, I'll just blame them all on James Conan, who is also here with us tonight. Hi, I'm James.
Hi, James.
Yes, that's yeah, because we don't get enough shit for that.
My name is James.
Stuff already. So bring it on.
That's a great intro for him. It reminds me of the Team America World Police and the whole fucking Matt Damon.
Yes.
Fucking, I'm James.
Hi, I'm James Conan.
James Conan.
So, fellas,
James Conan.
I got a little bit of a story that I'd like to regale you motherfuckers with this evening. And
Oh yeah.
Supposedly a lot of bit of a story.
this story begins in 1869 in central
69 dudes.
in central Paris. That's right, motherfuckers. We are in France for the foreseeable futures.
It's a good thing none of us are Portuguese.
Indeed. So, Henri Desiree
Yeah, good thing.
Landru was born in central Paris. He was the son of a furnace stoker and a laundress who were both ardent Catholics. Like, they just couldn't get enough of this stuff. It's kind of gross, actually.
Ew.
He was educated in Catholic school by the monks that were the educators at a Catholic school. I love French titles because this says on the Ile Saint
Catholic
Louis, like not at the Ile Saint Louis, but on, like it's a fucking river. It might be a river. I don't know. I don't know my French geometry. Serving.
Maybe it's a steamboat.
What if it was a steamboat? The magical mystery tour that would be. It would actually probably suck.
What if James Conan was a steamboat?
He would be learning disabled.
He'd be so last season.
So he, oddly enough, being a Catholic school young man, was an altar boy. I haven't seen claims of diddles, so let's just leave the diddles at the door. There were
probably.
There's always probably diddles.
It's bad that I find that so funny.
He was an altar boy at the church that was across the street, where his parents and his older sister went to church. By his late teens, he had graduated to the sub-deacon, which was a class of priest that I did not know existed, that they could have subs, like an underdeacon.
Sub-deacon?
So definitely some diddling. Which
sounds like mafia hierarchy.
Basically, his whole fucking deal, being a subdeacon, involved lighting candles and helping the priest on with his vestments after he first helped him remove his vestments. And then...
So he's a fucking squire.
And then helped him with his investments.
Or a bitch.
Wow.
Whichever you prefer to call it. I don't know.
That's strong words, man.
It's the deacon's. It's the deacon's bitch. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Clearly.
I mean, I'm okay. I actually sign off on that. That's okay. So, according to his future wife, Marie Catherine, she first set eyes on the young Landru at Mass one Sunday in 1887. We got talking as we were leaving church, and so my love story began. That's history book stuff right there. Like, we struck up a conversation.
I feel uneasy whenever
while we were leaving church, and then it was one-way tickets to Bone Town and stuff.
But why do I feel uneasy immediately when you, Jason Rambo, say that last statement? When at least during this show,
Chris, this is a romantic love story.
Like
all right,
because I'm a master of foreboding, foreshadowing. Or am I? That's right. You say something and then immediately negate it, or does it?
No. Sometimes it does not, but
So
this time it certainly did.
So their love story did actually begin. Like, this is they were totally roll dogs for life, no homo, and their first child, Marie, was born illegitimately, of all things, in 1891.
illegitimately
poor
on
Marie.
whose side? On the man of the
I mean
woman's
both.
side?
I mean both, because if they're not married, it's illegitimate on both. Both sides.
Oh, I
of
thought you
things.
meant like in an infidelity type way.
Oh no. That would be a bastard child.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I watched
This
Game of
was
Thrones.
just complete irresponsibility.
Exactly. So, she was born just right after he began his obligatory 3 years in the French military, which I guess is a thing that the French used to do, and is stuff that, like, I don't know, like the Koreans still do it. Like the South Koreans, when you hit a certain age, you have to go into the army or whatever for like 2 years or some shit.
Same for
Even
a
if
lot
you'll never
of
do anything with it.
Yeah.
So,
What?
I don't know, man. It's sandy out there.
You butt fuckers.
Super sandy out there. So he was in the northern French town of Saint Quentin, rising from private to the position of deputy quartermaster, which really sounds like it's an impressive kind of thing, but I'm pretty sure that means that he was like the requisitions guy, right? Unless he was like really badass with like the quarterstaff, like Donatello was, and then like you're the deputy quarterstaff master, and
Yeah, he was basically like probably munitions, like weapons and stuff like that, like munitions, like the armory.
Oh, look, what it says here is he was a glorified chef.
Oh,
What do you mean?
Okay.
That's actually not what that says at all. I just thought it would be fun to shoot that theory down immediately.
Okay.
My theory was going to be just that he moved from being one dude's bitch into another dude's bitch, and quartermaster really just means that he cleans up some other motherfucker's room.
Well, and yes, and then deputy
Like his quarters.
deputy means that he was the quartermaster's bitch, and the quartermaster was the master's bitch. Well,
he was the deputy quartermaster.
Yes.
Oh,
and
geez, Louise.
technically
Everybody's
the
somebody's
quartermaster is technically only 1/4 of the master's bitches. So,
That makes sense.
Wow,
because he's
that's a hell of a ladder to try to climb.
So in the autumn of 1893, he would then return to Paris and marry Marie Catherine, who was already pregnant with their second child, who would be named Maurice. They would go on to have 2 more children, Suzanne, who was born in 1896, and Charles, who was born in 1900. During the 1890s, while his wife, she worked as a laundress, which she just cleaned people's clothes and shit, he drifted basically, from one job to the next. Couldn't hold it down, I guess. He was employed for short periods of time as a plumber's accountant. That's right. A plumber's accountant. Not assistant or somebody that learns plumbing.
How specific.
He was a plumber's accountant. He was also a furniture salesman and an assistant to a toy maker.
Huh.
Yay.
I mean,
He's
that's
got a portfolio?
That would be a fun
that's
job,
literally every young boy's dream. Is to not have to take on all the responsibility of the business and stuff, but to be like, yeah, I'll hand you that block of wood. You know?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
James, you're
Yeah.
basically still a child. How would you like to be a toy maker's assistant?
Like what type of toy? Depends, I guess.
I'm
I
gonna
like
say,
my job now, dude. My job now is pretty chill. I mean,
No,
I ain't
it's
got no complaints.
it's the guy that makes Bop Its.
Dildos.
The guy that makes what?
close.
Starburst?
Bop Its.
What?
No, man,
Pop-
Bop Its, those stick things. where
Oh,
it's
oh,
like,
yeah.
flick it,
Twist
twist
and
it.
burn it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
See, right?
But
You would
I
love
just make
that
a bunch
guy,
of
right?
Dude, no, he'd fire me, dude. I'd just be yelling like "Bop it" like all day. Just like walk up
Well, I
behind
mean,
him out of
you
nowhere
know,
and just be
it's-
like "Bop it."
It's probably all for the best because he is also an ardent anti-Semite.
Oh,
I just made that up. I'm sorry, Bop It guy. I know it's not
Are
true.
you Jewish, James?
jeez, man, that's fucking.
No, but that
inflammatory,
doesn't
dog.
mean he can't. That doesn't mean he's got to be cool with anti-Semitism. Jesus.
That's true. That's
Um,
true.
So later on, Marie Catherine would describe Landrew as a quote unquote a model husband and father in the early years of their marriage. Even though she
Despite being a Jew hater.
would also claim that he was a bit of a skirt chaser from the very beginning, which is a phrase that I really did not expect a 1890 1900s French lady to have in her fucking quiver is a skirt chaser. But I dig it. Did they have skirts then?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Like-
thinking right now, man. Like that seems a little before their time, but maybe
Be
French,
like a
French
frock,
is a little ahead
like
of,
a frock chaser, or like a
yeah, like what's a skirt for them? You know, like
I don't know.
Like when I think skirt, I'm thinking like halfway up the thigh.
Yeah, like you're seeing like
Is it-
the wizard sleeve poke out, but no, this is
Is
like
that an actual quote?
no, not
This
the
is like
wizard
a
sleeve
dress
part,
skirt or something like that, like
but
a
the
dress
skirt
skirt.
chaser.
Yeah,
the skirt
on
chaser
dresses
part,
it's still called a skirt.
totes real. So,
So it's a quote, you say.
yes, it is. Yeah, God.
Okay, interesting. Well, I mean, I wonder what the actual definition of a skirt is.
I think it's a lady's like dress bottom that isn't
Yeah.
also attached to a top. So like, you know, if she's wearing a shirt and a skirt, it's a skirt. But if the skirt has, you know, a shirt attached to it with stuff, then it's a dress.
Wow.
Interesting theory.
That's right.
Interesting theory.
I have a
I'll have to do some more
girlfriend,
research on that.
guys.
Oh, that's how you know that?
Oh,
No,
you
I
have a
actually
girlfriend?
no, I learned it in school. Jesus Christ, guys, calm down. It's called math class, and my teacher was a whore. So
Oh, jeez.
Landrew, he eventually would drift into a bit of crime and and possibly maybe even like have a bit of a psychosis. But all of this started with his ambition to become a famous inventor. That's right. That's right. We're talking about the inventor of Bop It. How great would that be? In 1989, that's not true. In 1898, that's going to happen a lot, fellas. In 1898, he designed a primitive motorbike, which he called the Landrew, because he was just the inventor. He wasn't the marketer. And then he immediately deceived several would-be investors into giving him money to build a factory to make it. then he pocketed the money and disappeared. Because
Hey.
that is certainly how you begin your start as a famous inventor.
I was about to say, it's how all famous inventors are made. They skip town with other people's money.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Goddamn Edison, you fucking piece of
Son
garbage.
of a bitch.
Garbage fire in a garbage can in a garbage fucking Thomas Edison. Fuck you. I'm sorry.
All of that.
I'm
All
sorry.
that.
In a bowl
All that more.
with some milk.
I gotta take my nitroglycerin. I mean, I have to buy some nitroglycerin so I can blow up Thomas Edison's house. So,
Clippers.
other projects that allegedly do that. Other projects that Landru began in the late 1890s and early 1900s included a plan for a new a new suburban railway line west of Paris, and an automated children's toy. I don't know what the automated children's toy is. I think we can all just assume, rightfully so, that it was a BOP IT.
Probably. a
Makes
lot.
sense, man. It's
Probably-
full circle. This is the conspiracy part of the show, man. Embrace it.
Or it was either a BOP IT or remember the Skip It, Chris? Like it would go around your ankle.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm guessing
Oh,
it
is
was
that?
that
Yeah,
because that
you had you swirled it
one
around,
sucked.
connected to one ankle, and you hop around on the other.
you just
yeah.
like
It rolled and it had a counter on it.
That's
we found out how to cheat that thing real quick.
that thing's
That's
dumb.
right, world champs, world champs. But meanwhile, while he's doing all this shit, he was just constantly running from the police. He saw very little of his family, and he ended up laying low for about a year in Le Havre. I don't know where any of these places are. I'm going to assume France. So in 1904, he was finally arrested in Paris after falling in the street as he was running away from a bank he had tried to defraud.
Nice.
I'm gonna read that sentence again for my own enjoyment. Landru was finally arrested in Paris after falling in the street as he was running away from a bank he had tried to defraud.
So some guard just
didn't
walked
even
up
try
to
to
him
rob
and
the
it was
bank.
like, "Hey, you
He just tried to defraud it. I love it. He was remanded in
Well,
custody.
I mean,
Huh?
I was just gonna say, at least he stays active.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? He could have.
Get some exercise.
But does he? Who falls in the street as you're running from the bank that you had tried to defraud while the police are chasing you?
Well, he's not good at it.
There could have been a lot of
I'm
cops
sure
chasing him
plenty
if
of
he couldn't
people.
push over that one cop and keep running, man. I don't know.
Right? Yeah. I just think that maybe that was not the day to wear heels.
Right?
So he was remanded in
Or
custody
sag your pants.
at the Santé prison, where he made what appears to have been a fake suicide attempt by slipping his head through a noose made from his bed sheets just as a guard was entering his cell. He was then examined by Dr. Charles Vallian, one of France's leading criminal psychiatrists, who concluded that he was, and this is in quotes, on the frontiers of madness, which I fucking love that.
Yeah.
I love on the frontiers of madness, because that's where I try to live my life. It's a very, it's a razor's edge.
Jesus, so
But he was not...
But at this point, so at this point he is in jail. He's faked a suicide attempt, and now a leading criminal psychologist saying he's on the verge of madness. Where was the tipping point for this? He just wanted to be a famous inventor, decided to defraud people of their money, and then skip town is just all down from there. Or like, what was?
Honestly think that that once he saw the kind of money people were willing to invest in his kind of motorcycle that maybe wasn't as great as he had been telling people. Like, I think he genuinely wanted to be an inventor, but once he saw the kind of money that people were willing to just hand him to invent, he was like, well, shit, that was easy. Like, I should just do that, you know?
So he just got tempted
also-
really easily by money. He just slipped into that shit way too easily, is what you're saying.
Yeah, basically. And I don't know how much I believe the madness frontier living on quite yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It
because
seems drastic. This seems very, very drastic.
Exactly. He goes on to say, but he was not yet insane, and he was responsible for his actions. The doctor's diagnosis was confirmed by 2 other psychiatrists, yet Valian was sufficiently concerned by Landry's behavior, so sufficiently concerned was he that he warned Landry's wife, Marie Catherine, to be on guard in the future. So Landry was eventually tried and sentenced to 2 years in jail in the town of Frenay, south of Paris. He was in and out of prison for the next decade. And during this time period, Landry's wife and 4 children lived in, just a series of cheap rented apartments in and around Paris. So they just live in, the life of, in France.
Gee, thanks, Dad.
Wait. So were they living like a poor life in Paris, or like I blinked out for a second?
They lived in a bunch of cheap apartments in the years that, for the next decade while he was in and out of prison, basically.
Okay.
Not a whole lot of money.
They lived in the hood.
But they weren't
In the Paris hood.
they weren't
They
on
weren't
the
homeless.
street. Exactly. So in 1909, Landry attempted to swindle an affluent widow in the northern city of Lille by posing as a wealthy single businessman and persuading her to hand over her savings in a premarital contract. So it's like a what's it? That people that
Yeah, but the opposite.
yeah, but the opposite. It's like a what's it, but an opposite.
A post-nup.
It's a post-nup. Yeah,
Post-nuptial.
it's a pre-post-nup actually.
A pre-post.
Yeah.
Wait. Yeah, whatever.
Huh? or a post-pre? I don't know. There's smarter people out there
Post-pre.
that
I like that. I like that a lot.
there's much more intelligent people out there that have been asking that question for years and years and are wasting their lives because that's a stupid question.
Well, I'm no Will Hunting, that's for sure.
I am hunting Will, though, so be very, very quiet.
It's nasty.
Shut up. He was then arrested while trying to cash in her investment certificates, and he was sentenced to 3 more years in prison at Lou, near Lille. I just... French, God bless you, which is what you say to a really ugly baby. While he was in jail, his widowed father committed suicide in April of 1912 by hanging himself from a tree in the Bois de Boulogne. That's right, the Bois de...
Well, at least one of them got it
or
right.
the Bois de Boulogne. Then Marie Catherine told Landry that her father-in-law, his father, had killed himself partly in despair at her husband's criminal career. Which, like, really, lady?
Apparently,
Like, dick move. Like, even if it's true, you don't tell somebody that.
hell of a guilt trip.
Yeah, hey, your
Hell of a guilt
your
trip.
bad attitude killed your dad.
Yeah. But apparently being good at hanging yourself is not hereditary.
Oh, no. A cry for help and hanging yourself, 2 different things. Even if they look the same.
True. Good call.
That's
Fair point.
man. Maybe this man does have some madness in his family, man. This is a lot of extremes I'm hearing in this story, man. There's a lot of like irrational behavior.
I think that it's just I think it's just shooting. It's just being a con man, really. And then I think his dad was just profoundly depressed. His wife was dead. His son's in jail. He probably doesn't get to see his grandchildren that often. And he was old, didn't have anything else to do, so
It's Sunday. I'm pretty
he
bored.
likes
Guess I'll
those
kill
anyway.
myself. It's good.
yeah.
Grandchildren smell funny.
Netflix wasn't a thing yet, so
That's,
tree and
I
boat
understand.
it is.
I understand. Now that you say it like that.
Now that you say it
That's
like
right.
that. You bastard. We're born with a cell phone, a smartphone in your hand, you fuck. I'm sorry. I'm
silver cell phone in the mouth. She also said that in the autumn of 1912, as soon as
beautiful hair, you fuck.
as soon as he was released from prison,
I'm sorry.
it's okay. You can be angry. You can be an angry old man. I am the middle child on this show, which means I get everything. As soon as he was released from prison, Landru stole around 12,000 francs, which, holy shit, that's a lot of guys named Frank. Yes, we've made that joke before. I will make it again. Which is approximately...
It's like in a whole Oscar Mayer factory.
it's approximately 40 grand in today's money. Like our money, not the French whatevers. Euros, I guess. Which actually would be more. You know what? It was 40 grand.
Shut up. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Just continue this damn story.
So, he stole this money.
But we love you.
Stole this money that his dad had left her and the 4 children rather than him. Which, dick move? You decide.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, you both decided, and you made the right decision. Yes, that was a dick move. So, in the winter of 1913 to 1914, Landru executed probably the most successful swindle of his entire career of being a swindler, which was he duped more than a dozen people into giving him a total of 35,600 francs to invest, quote-unquote invest, in building a fictitious automobile factory.
Huh.
That's
cool.
That's terrible. How does he gauge what's this best swindle? Like, he got that from one person?
Well, no, history.
How the fuck?
History says, no, he stole 12,000 francs that his father left as an inheritance to his children. And this, he got a dozen people to give him 35,600 francs. So that is
Each?
quite a bit more. Well, I mean, in total, that's still 35,600 instead of 1,200. I mean, 12,000.
True.
That's
true, but one person versus 12 people.
Yeah.
That's a lot more work.
But one was
You gotta factor
one was a
in
dead man's inheritance.
The man labor.
One was a dead man's inheritance, and the other was, people giving him money to start a business. But I do like to think that in this case, it was actually 35,600 guys named Frank to build and run the factory that they gave him.
That's a hell of a pyramid.
Man, could you imagine like a cheerleader pyramid made out of 35,600 guys named Frank? Just
It's raining Frank.
it's just all push broom fucking mustaches and like really sweaty undershirt wife beaters and
Hey, it's
For
me,
some reason-
Frank. How's it going?
yeah, blue dickies that he's wearing a belt with, but you can always see just the top of his way too hairy ass crack.
Oh, Lord. And the mesh back trucker cap.
Oh,
God.
and no shoes, dirty ass socks that are like just so worn out from days of wear that they're kind of hanging off his toes. That's gonna be
I hate this
see
guy.
it.
that's
I
gonna
can
be their
see it.
downfall. Goddamn Franks.
I hate this guy with a passion.
It's like he's standing
So
in my
he-
room right now.
Uh-oh.
Frank? What?
I think there might be a killer in your house, James. Or is your dad named Frank? And did I just describe him perfectly?
Yeah. Something like that.
Okay. Okay, good. So he went on the run in April of 1914 with all these francs, plus most of his father's inheritance. He got out of there just before the police came to arrest him. And then in late July of 1914, he was tried and convicted in absentia for the fraud, which means they had court without a person that they were courting for court purposes.
So they
That's
found him
fun.
guilty without him being there, basically.
Yes, exactly, which is what happens with me all the time in lots of situations, mostly personal ones at home. Shut up, Nelson. Yeah, he's okay at that. So, taking his previous convictions into account as well, the court sentenced Landry to 4 years hard labor, followed by exile for life on the French Pacific island of New Caledonia. They still
they exiled this man in the
people.
early 1900s.
How fucking crazy!
That's dope.
How fucking crazy!
Because when is this?
They put you on
1908 right
prison
now?
island and shit.
No, it's not that he got his own personal island. It's that he had to go to an island, probably full of other assholes named Frank, and had to just live there out of houses made of Frank and eat meals made by and from Frank.
Is whack.
And so wait, what year is this in? Is this like 1908, like 1913, somewhere around there?
1915.
1950.
Well,
Dude,
14.
so they were exiling people in 1914, 1915.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. That's crazy, bro.
What's the name of this island? What
Mm-hmm.
and what the hell is going on this island now?
I don't know. It's
wonder.
probably just the grossest nude beach with hair everywhere. It's
Just in the sand, just sand weaved with pubic hair.
we're all descendants
It
of
reminds me
Frank.
of that scene of Euro Trip. That scene from Euro Trip where they went to the nude beach and it was just nothing but dudes.
Exactly.
Girl.
Mhm. They all evolved from the original Frank. So this is where
So gross.
our fucking little what were the Gusher? Remember the Gusher candies? They probably still have them. Not candies, gummies with the
Oh yeah.
with, like,
now
the
they make them as Sour Patches.
oh, see that doesn't sound so bad. The other ones,
Yeah.
ugh. But anyway,
Fucking delicious.
this is where the gush starts a gushing.
Oh,
Sick
That
gush, bro.
sounded way grosser than I wanted it to, really. So in 1950,
I don't believe you.
I mean, it was I probably could have done better at the grossness. In 1915, he escaped to a village near the town of Chantilly, which is about 50 kilometers north of Paris,
I know where
in
Chantilly
the company of, Chantilly. That's a place.
is. Chantilly, Louisiana.
Not Gentilly, Chantilly.
Oh, Chantilly.
Chantilly. Yeah. I mean, are you having an orgasm?
he's masturbating over there.
Okay, if his O was just oh.
I start busting out in a song when I bust a nut.
The right stuff.
The right stuff.
That's right. So
Best one I ever had was followed by the Star Spangled Banner. Let me tell you.
so
Stand at attention, sir.
he was in the company of one Jean Crochet, a pretty 39-year-old Parisian seamstress who had been widowed in 1909. Now, when they were traveling together, she knew him as Raymond Dillard. He posed as an industrialist from northern France who had promised to marry her and persuaded her to give up her job making lingerie for a dress shop in Paris. Why wouldn't you fucking want her to keep that job?
That sounds like a solid gig.
If she is a pretty 39-year-old Parisian seamstress, I'm guessing that she would at least have lingerie for her. So she appeared to have hoped that Landrew, who was, remember, under the alias Dillard, would provide a respectable home for her and her only son, Andre, who was 17, and who was also illegitimate.
An unruly fuck.
Get in the vapors. the balance of Jean's relationship with Landru changed pretty fucking flip-floppity in early August of 1914 when France declared war on the Germans.
War were declared.
What the fuck?
That's right, France were declared the where that we they were like, fuck you, Germany.
Something about French eclairs?
Oh man,
Those were not English words. Whatever the fuck
You started
said
speaking some French.
was not in our native language.
pretty sure I smell toast.
Okay.
Pretty sure that's a toast smell. So, Landru failed to then make a rendezvous with Jean, who had returned to Paris to be with Andre, her son, of course, who
This guy speaks.
is still living in her old apartment. So, in despair,
Why can't you speak Russian that well?
fuck if I know, bud. In despair,
You just said rendezvous
hey,
like it wasn't as bad.
you know what? I think on the space episode, I did pretty well with the fucking Russian. Thank
No,
you
you
very
did. You
much.
did good with those. You did good with those.
Like, go back and listen to the Chikatilo episodes if you must, and hear my big fat tongue stumble over every single second fucking word. But I got better. Jean went back to the house near Chantilly, accompanied by Andre and her brother-in-law, hoping to find the man she still knew as Dillard. But the house was empty. But she also found Landru's identity papers inside of a chest, along with various fake documents. Because just because he's suave and smooth and shit, don't mean he's smart.
What an idiot! You should just put it on a flash drive or something.
That
Exactly, like, because those are like super not. You'd never just leave a flash drive lying around, you know.
Encrypt it. Yeah.
I can count 1, 2. I have 3 different flash drives, nowhere near the computer I'm using right now, that I can see. That
Are they
I have no idea what's on
encrypted?
them. No, why would I encrypt them? If you
So you
have
have
the balls to look at my dick pics, have at it.
Why do you keep your dick pics on? Okay. Yeah. All right. I'll continue.
It's called for posterity. The next day, Jean
time capsule.
visited Landru's abandoned apartment in southern Paris, where she discovered that he was a criminal on the run who should have been deported to New Caledonia.
Uh-oh.
What?
So Jean insisted to her sister and brother-in-law that her engagement with Landru was over. But when he reappeared late in August in 1914, she resumed their relationship.
Ballsy.
She a ride or die kind
When-
of bitch.
Let me one more time. But when he reappeared in the late August of 1914, she resumed their relationship.
Okay, so what is that? What
She
exactly
found
what
out.
do you- what
She
do you
found.
mean
She found out.
to
She
accentuate.
found out before this resumation of said relationship. She had found out that he had for sure been scamming her.
Oh.
Do you see
Jesus.
where I'm getting you fucking stoners?
I just hit my card
So-
too.
Now it makes sense.
Meanwhile, she kept a close watch on her patriotic son, Andre, who was desperate to join the army and fight the Germans, even though he was way too young to
I
volunteer.
love him some France.
Which is weird. It says he was too young to volunteer, but he was 17. Like, I've heard of people
Yeah, I was gonna
going
say.
into World War I at like 13 and shit. You just had to tell
Yeah.
them you were fucking 18.
My uncle went into Vietnam at like 14 or 15.
I was hoping you were going to say like 7 or 8.
What?
Yeah, he lied about his age on the military application. He was like 15 at the time, said he was 18,
The
and
hell's wrong with him?
went
He
and
go-
joined the military at
Jesus.
15 during Vietnam.
He goes in, he's like, "Sir, I would like
The
to
fuck's
die
wrong
in
with him?
Vietnam, please. Me."
Yeah. Dude, he's a
Seriously.
badass. I don't know what else to say, man.
I mean, I'm sure he's a badass, but can we all agree that that was probably not a very smart decision for a fucking 14-year-old to make?
Yeah, well, I mean, what 14-year-old is smart?
Seriously.
Okay. So in late November, Jean suddenly pulled Andre out of his job at an automobile factory, and then at the start of December, Landru, posing as Monsieur Cruchet, and Andre moved into a house in Vernolier, a small town by the Seine, S-E-I-N-E. Chris, what is that?
Seine. Cien?
The Seine,
fine.
which is 35 kilometers northwest of Paris. If I knew where Paris was, all of these places, it would start to connect. Over Christmas, Jean wrote a friend in Paris explaining that it wouldn't be convenient for her to visit her in Vernolier because of the poor weather, and at the moment it's all rather muddy here, is what she says exactly. So in mid-January, Andre learned.
It's not suspicious at all.
Andre learned that his scheduled recruitment into the army had been. It jumped up 2 years to the summer of 1915. So he wrote excitedly to a friend in the army on January 20th, reporting his good news, and another to an uncle a week later. Then, Jean and Andre disappeared without a trace, never to be seen again.
Jesus.
Huh?
What? Wait, like,
What?
so before they even, like, were actually, like, in the military, like, they just found out that they were gonna get in and then disappeared?
Just Andre. Jean was Andre's mother, who Landru was conning to marry him. And she knew it was a con and got back together with him, and then they moved to another city with him, and then nothing.
And then they're both just gone.
I guess they succeeded
So
in running away.
Okay.
So in June of 1915, okay, you know what? We're gonna actually do this a different way. From June of 1915 to January of 1919. So that's a 4-year span, or almost. Damn it! Hold on. Okay, here it is. In 1915, Teresa Laborde Line. That's right, Laborde Line. See, Chris got that. I knew James wouldn't. Thank you, Chris. Thank you
James
for being
Conan!
here to get my just stupid 80s references. Okay, so Teresa was born in Argentina. She was divorced. She was unemployed. And she was also a widow. She was a divorced, unemployed widow. So,
Wow.
I don't know which came.
Strikes.
I don't know which came first.
That's what you call the triple threat.
Chicken,
There's red flags for me.
the chicken, or the dead husband. And she was also estranged from her only son, who was a postal clerk, and her daughter-in-law. She met Landru either by a Lonely Hearts advert that he placed on May 1st, 1915, in Le Journal, which is French for the journal. Which
She was probably hanging out, smoking cigarettes, scratching tickets. Picked up the Le Journal, which is like, the publicated Craigslist.
it's wheels and deals, basically.
Saw an ad for, some fucking orgy with this dude and a bunch of Franks.
Oh man, you know what?
She's
Those
like,
Franks get around.
"Why
That's going to be your autobiography title. Is Chris just a dude with a bunch of Franks?
Me and these Franks.
Waiting on
35,600
These
francs.
Franks and I.
Love it. which that was a daily mass circulation, really. Or possibly she met him through a notice applying for a position as a lady's companion, which she placed in another newspaper. She not seen again. Next.
So many fucking people died from these weird goddamn want ads of like rich widowers, fucking companions, man. So many old rich bitches died.
I agree. Just
sorry, they're not bitches.
No,
they were. I respected that.
Very nice ladies. Yes,
that's crazy.
And that's a total.
They're obviously way too nice.
You very often do the exact opposite of dead respecting.
Damn that.
Marie.
I don't believe you at all.
Marie Angelique Guillin, who was 52 years old. In August of 1915, in Vernolier, she was a widowed, retired housekeeper living near Paris, who had inherited a fuckload of money from her last employer. Which is weird, because usually your boss dying doesn't mean that you get rich.
Right.
But Marie Angelique answered
She had that throat game.
She answered also his May 1st, 1915 Lonely Hearts advert in Le Journal. And believed his story about being the next consul general to Australia who was in need of a wife to host diplomatic receptions.
Oh.
And
Okay.
And as a twist of fate, they actually moved to Australia where he was consul general, and they lived a happy, super awesome life forever.
Well, this has been another episode of See No, Hear No, Speak No.
No, wait, I read that last line wrong. He killed her. She's dead. No one saw her again.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait,
he never left France.
Hang on.
Dude, this guy is all over the
thing
place,
is
man.
yapping down
He's just picking up every crime as he goes along. Just, oh, here, I'll do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Scam a couple old people here, kill a couple cougars here.
Bucket list.
Like, the really weird thing about it to me is that he's so, like, just go with the flow.
Dude, he just doesn't give a fuck. He just does not give a fuck.
I mean,
sounds like it's his fucking bucket list.
And really, I think that he probably actually gave lots of fucks in the literal sense, in meaning that
And
he had sex with a bunch of widows so that he could steal their money. December 1915.
I would like to find wait. I would like to find an archive of these ads, and preferably with responses to them.
Well, the responses would have been a personal correspondence, but I do have actual. I have scans, not like on me, like in my back pocket or nothing, but like I know where they're at on the internet, where you can see his actual his advertisements in Le Journal.
I mean, that's pretty cool, and I can imagine how enticing they would be. Especially, if you're saying, like, basically what you're saying is, I'm already rich, I need a woman who wants to help me spend my money and go to fancy parties. What obviously that's enticing, so, like, the response, I can imagine, would just be interesting to read. Like, how do you... I'm trying to imagine, how do you formulate a response to that doesn't make you sound like a giddy, excited, desperate, but also desperate schoolgirl?
I'm hoping it went exactly like this. Me love you long time.
15 franc. Come on.
That's right. I'll do all 15 of those francs too.
At once.
Right.
Oh man, gross and
extra for butt stuff.
Somehow super sexy still. because I'm just picturing like hot dogs and mustard everywhere with these Franks guys. December.
Hey, fuck me. My name's Frank. Hey. There's
I know that's a little too on the nose, and that's not where you want a Frank.
that is where I want a Frank.
Who invited the little Japanese guy?
In December of 1915, Bertha Heon, who is 55 years old, originally from Le Havre, she scraped a living together as a cleaning woman and had lots of fucked up shit happen to her, like losing her husband, her long-term lover, her 2 legitimate children, and her beloved illegitimate daughter in childbirth.
God.
So
Goddamn.
her lifetime was kind of marred with fuck you, Bertha.
Kinda. And being called Bertha from birth.
Ooh.
That's awful.
It also might be Birth. Her name might just be Birth. It's Berthe. So she met.
That doesn't sound better to me.
She met Landrew in the summer of 1915, probably via a second Lonely Hearts advert that he placed in. Say it with me, fellas. Le Journal.
Le Journal.
Okay, we're gonna have to practice this, guys. This is why you come to rehearsals when I fucking have rehearsals, which I didn't tell you guys about, but that's why you come to rehearsal. He posed as a businessman and pretended that he was in search of a wife.
Come at rehearsal.
He was in search of a wife to join him in the quote-unquote pretty colony of Tunisia. Tunisia's a pretty place, right? I'm sure?
Would not know.
I mean, December 1916. Anna Colum, 44 years old.
Glaze over it.
Anna was a pretty smart and also pretty, by that I mean attractive, widow who worked as a typist at an insurance company in Paris. And she had a long line of lovers since the death of her alcoholic, bankrupt husband. He died like 10 years earlier. So we're not going to call her a slut, because we don't shame on this show. Except each other, because fuck you both, you stupid sluts. She was a player.
She's not a player. She just crushed a lot.
Her motive for answering Landrew's May 1st, 1915 Lonely Hearts advert was probably because she wanted a stepfather for her illegitimate young daughter, who she reportedly placed in the care of nuns in Italy. The girl was never traced by the police. And Anna never seen again. April 1917. Andre.
This guy was fucking busy.
Andre Babley. Swear to God, dude's last name Babley. Babley.
Beyblade.
Nice.
Andre Babley, 19 years old. It says here that he was chatty and vivacious. Oh, okay. So Andre Babley, maybe it's Andre because it's a chick. She was a nanny and possibly a casual prostitute whom Landrew picked up one evening while riding on the metro. She spent the next 10 days living with Landrew, whom she called Lulu, because when you're going to be murdered and stolen from, you give people cutesy names like Chi-Chi. They lived together in a room that he rented near Paris Gare du Nord, which whatever. Then a further fortnight at his rented house near Gambay, where she was seen by a local game warden learning to ride a bicycle, which is a weird thing for a local game warden to be like, oh, you mean that one girl I saw riding the bike that one time? And they're like, yeah, have you seen her? He's like, yeah, I just said I saw her trying to learn how to ride a bike. All right, see you guys later. I'm going to go hang out with the Franks. September 1917.
Friggin' Franks.
Celestine Buisson. Sure. 47. She was homely, trusting, and semi-illiterate, which is what I call the trifecta.
Nice.
She was yet another woman who had answered his May 1st, 1915 Lonely Hearts advert in Say It With Me.
Le Journal.
Le
Journal.
No, it was better. We're still not there yet. Don't worry, guys. We'll have more opportunities.
I'm trying.
Born in the southwest of France, she was a widow who worked as a housekeeper and was, a bit lonely after her only son was sent to war. He was also illegitimate. They took really good records of the legitimacy of children back then.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm really impressed by this.
Mm-hmm. Landru's alias that he used at the time, which was Georges Fremier, became engaged to Celestine immediately, but then put off their marriage for more than 2 years. He pleading, it says here, lost identity documents and long business trips abroad. So she eventually met a non-too-happy end, but I just don't think he liked being seen in public with the, let's see again, homely, trusting, and semi-literate Celestine. November 1917. We have a few more of these, Chris, to go through, so just give me a sec. It's man. Louise Jamais. She was a devout Catholic working as a dress shop assistant who answered a Lonely Hearts advert Landru placed in a conservative newspaper after deciding to divorce her estranged husband, called, say it with me, Nope. That's not her husband's name. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? Who names their estranged husband Le Journal?
You fucking tricked me.
How could we say it with you?
You fucking tricked me.
It was a test, and you both failed. With
Fuck
flying
you.
colors.
Nope, I'm done.
I love you guys. You guys are my best friends.
I hate you.
Luis initially refused to sleep with Landru. He was going by the name Lucien Gillet, who a refugee from the German-occupied Ardennes region. He broke her resistance and then took her to Gambay on a one-way train ticket after celebrating Mass with her at the Basilica of Sacré Bleu-Beard in Paris. Which I think celebrating Mass with her at the Basilica is just innuendo for having butt sex, right?
Yeah.
If you're
It's
a
classic
priest.
1917 lingo.
Well, he was a pre-deacon? What was it again? A sub-deacon. That's right.
He got
So
diddled.
technically almost a priest.
Almost only counts with horseshoes, hand grenades, and butt sex.
Yeah, actually. Yeah, I see that. Well, I mean, oops, I accidentally,
You're not supposed to look directly into
I
it.
popped out and it accidentally went in there, I swear. Only counts in horseshoes, hand grenades, and butt sex. April 1918. Anne Marie, who went by the name Annette, which is cute. Pascal, 37 years old. On account of her wide-brimmed hats, she was nicknamed Madame Sombrero by her neighbors on the street.
Nice.
Oh, man.
Nice.
Man,
I like it.
France, I'm warming up to you and your illegitimate, homely, semi-illiterate children. She made a living making dresses for a Paris fashion house. She was divorced but childless following the death of her only son, who died in infancy. And so she was looking for a so-called vous monsieur, which means sugar daddy.
Okay. Alrighty then.
That's exactly what I thought it meant.
In September 1916, she spotted Landru's Lonely Hearts advert in the Paris evening daily La Presse. See, I didn't say it with me because I was, guys, I think I felt bad after last time. Like I
get beat up.
Like I had tricked you, and
I was betrayed.
Maybe that you guys felt a little betrayed by that.
Yeah, I was betrayed
because I'm certain I'm gonna play that up real big in editing, and you guys are gonna look like fucking morons. So I figured that time I would let it slide.
Just throw in a soundbite that's like epic fail.
January 1919. Marie Teresa Marchadaire, born in Bordeaux, Marie Teresa was a career prostitute and a familiar sight on the street outside of her apartment on the Rue Saint-Jacques, where she liked to walk her two beloved Belgian Griffin dogs. That not only sounds like it's fucking badass looking, it also kind of sounds delicious.
Yeah, I might have to look that up.
Belgian Griffin dogs?
Tastes like Belgian waffles. Yeah.
I want to fucking eat some. The prosecution at his later trial had claimed that he first met the heavily indebted Maria Teresa in October of 1918 after she advertised to sell her furniture. And then circumstantial evidence kind of suggests that he may have run into her several years earlier, and then that's all we know, really. Really? Guys?
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's actually kind of an ugly dog.
with... see, I don't want to see it now. I don't want you to ruin the fucking majesty for me.
I'm not showing you. It's actually an ugly dog. Continue.
Okay. Now, since I've got no more death dates to yell at you guys, that can only mean that someone out there, somewhere, is looking for this son of a bitch. Right, guys?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
the reason he was able to avoid being captured during this time period was really for three reasons. One was the war, which we all call WW1. Why doesn't anybody call it WW1 if we all say WW2?
Do we all say WW2?
I think we all do, yes. I think every single person ever calls it WW2.
I know George W. Bush.
Nope.
There's only
Far more
I know.
The second. Yes, the second. Anyway,
It's
so
far too many syllables for me. I'm lazy.
so that was going on, right? The Dubs won, which, as we all, every single person on the planet knows, a lot of it was in France. And France sucked ass during that time and now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't go so good.
So what this did was it took basically every police officer that was of military age, they were mobilized and sent to fight on the front. Which means, like in Vernalier, where Landru rented his house from December 1914 to August of 1915, there was one cop for the entire town. And then in Gambay, where he rented his second house from December 1915 till his arrest, there was one constable in his early 70s stationed in the village.
Jesus Christ.
And then one cop in the town that was 4 miles away.
So a total of 3 cops within
Yeah,
like a
that's-
12-mile radius.
Yeah. Yeah, and one is
Jesus.
70,
Didn't
70
really have
years
to be all
old.
that slick, huh?
One is 70, and the other one is on a horse.
Wow.
Well, then.
Secondly, the second reason, the number 2, means that, not means, it's because his wife and his 4 kids knew where the fuck he was the whole time, but just didn't tell the cops. His youngest son, Charles, who was born in 1900, worked as his self-styled, quote-unquote, apprentice. He would help Landrew remove the furniture and other possessions from at least 5 of his known victims' apartments, and he also acted as his father's chauffeur. His eldest son, which means oldest, not an old man, it's not an elder son, it's the eldest son, born in 1894, was mobilized in 1915, which means he went to war, but he was then arrested soon afterwards for various frauds and thefts, including the receipt and sale of valuables from Landrew that had belonged to his first known victim, Jeanne Cruchet. Following his release from prison, Maurice helped Landrew concoct a cover story to explain the disappearance of his 6th known victim, Anna Colombe, to one of Anna's friends. And meanwhile, Landrew's wife lived most of the war in northwestern Paris under the false name Fremier, which was one of his aliases, in an apartment where he was seen coming and going at regular intervals. So he was just there. His wife forged the signature of his 8th known victim, Celestine Bisson, so he could gain access to Celestine's bank account, and impersonated his 9th victim, Louise Jomé, for the same purpose. So this is a family affair. Like, it is
Christ.
crazy.
Wow.
And then the third, and really the shittiest reason that he hadn't been caught yet was that he benefited from the indifference of police and village officials to the fate of women in general. This is at a time when hundreds of thousands of young men were losing their lives at the front. So they were kind of like, whatevs, ladies. Like grow a pair already and stop dying if you feel like it or not. We don't care.
Yeah, yeah.
It's sad, really. It's really fucking sad. It really, really is. The weird thing about it is that he probably may have never even been arrested or caught or even followed for any reason without the persistence of a woman who forced the authorities to investigate Landrew after, some suspicious stuff happened, right? So, her name was Marie Lacoste. She was the younger half-sister of Celestine. She was an unmarried housemaid who disliked Landrew quite a bit, who, at the time, his alias was Georges Fremier. She fucking hated him from the moment she first met him at Celestine's apartment in the summer of 1915. Over the next 2 years, Marie began to suspect that Celestine's fiancé was a marriage swindler, out to get his hands on Celestine's savings. Marie's suspicions were confirmed during a visit with Celestine to the Via Tric in August of 1917, when Celestine admitted that Fremier had taken charge of all of her investments. Celestine refused to take Marie's advice to end the engagement to Fremier, and the two were they stopped talking completely because of this. Then a day later, Landrew took Celestine back to Gambay, traveling on a one-way train ticket, and she was subsequently never seen again. So,
well then,
during the autumn
cleaned up that mess.
During the autumn of 1917, Landrew became increasingly worried that Marie might suspect him of her sister Celestine's murder. He would go on to try and reassure her that her sister was still alive by sending her 2 postcards from Gambé, purportedly signed by Celestine, but Marie instantly realized that the signatures were fake, and but she at the time maybe just thought that Landry was just a con man and didn't take any further action on it. But Landry was still worried that, oh no, she's on to me now. So he would turn up alone on a couple occasions at Marie's work to invite her to dinner with Celestine at Celestine's apartment in Paris. So Landry knew that the apartment was empty and almost certainly intended to kill Marie there. Each time, Marie refused, eventually telling Landry to fuck off and don't come back.
Huh. She's a smart cookie.
Nicely done.
So for the next year now,
still.
Marie just completely would made herself forget about Celestine. Thinking that if her half sister was too fucking ashamed about falling for this con man to want to talk to her, well then, fuck you. I don't want to talk to you either. You know. Then, in December of 1918, Marie received a letter which got her blood a pumping again. Celestine's son had been blinded during the war, and from his home in southwest France, he tried to contact Celestine to borrow some money following what he called a quote-unquote serious accident. Celestine hadn't replied because she was dead. No one else knew that, prompting the son to ask Marie if she could talk to Celestine on his behalf. So Marie then visited Celestine's old apartment, where the concierge told her that Celestine had last been seen there the summer of 1917, a fucking more than a year before, and that at least one other woman had, after that point, spent the night at the address with Fremier before he paid off the lease in Gide. So Marie is fucking freaked and finally concludes that Landry had probably killed Celestine and most likely was planning to kill her the times he invited her to the apartment. And that is where we end part 1 of Henri fucking Desiree motherfucking Landry, also known later as the Blue-Beard of Gambé.
The Blue-Beard of Gambé?
Alright.
Yes.
What does Blue-Beard mean?
What does Blue-Beard mean? It is a reference to, it's like a reference.
Yeah.
Chris?
His pubes.
Chris, take it over. You tell him. Go ahead.
Yeah.
What? Oh,
Yeah, Chris was...
it's a pube reference, right?
No, it's not a pube reference, Chris. Jesus Christ. It's, there was a mythical medieval nobleman, called Blue-Beard, who murdered his wives.
Why would I know that?
I don't know. I was just trying to buy time while I looked for it.
Well, yeah. Nicely done.
Yeah, this man
welcome.
is crazy. This man is
So,
wild.
what do you guys
But if
think?
it was a pube reference.
What do you guys fucking think of the beginning of the Blue-Beard of Gambé?
I like it so far.
That was
If you weren't keeping track of all of the dates, which then equal the amount of women that we know he killed, that's 11. It's 11.
Shit.
Yeah, and he did that in 4 years.
Jesus, including
Yeah, he
his
was
wife.
busy.
No. Mm-mm.
Wait, Celeste not his wife?
His
No,
wife.
No, his wife was signing.
His wife
was forging
sweet.
signatures.
Exactly. His wife was complicit.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
some of the crimes. Yeah.
Wait, so then who was
and-
Celeste
and
again?
we'll- and we'll see how that all goes. His last victim was Marie Celeste.
Okay.
No. Bob, no. Okay, Marie was Celeste's sister.
Okay.
Celestine, actually. I mean, if we're gonna be French about it, which is stupid.
In French.
I suppose actually called for this time.
France. So yeah, I think it's a good start to a cool story that actually has quite a few unexpected twists and turns throughout the way. Who would have thought that the guy that created the BOP IT could have done so much,
Including all those
So
francs.
so many Franks just
Yeah.
all sunbathing
Last but not
on
least.
Speedos, and you're like, Jesus, Frank, go get a wax and put a shirt on.
Nothing gets me raring harder than a good frank.
Are you talking about hot dogs?
Woo.
Hot dogs in a bun?
What? Huh?
Hmm.
Huh?
Oh yeah, all up in them buns.
All up in them buns. You know what though? I think about this guy is that I still don't know why he captured my attention the way he did, because Chris, as you know, I'm not super keen on people that purely serial kill out of greed. Because it's I hate saying this, but it's not interesting to me. There's no crazy mind disease or affliction or hang up or anything like that.
He was
This
just a
dude
greedy
just loved money.
Here's the greedy
He
son
loved
bitch.
money, and he knew the easiest fucking path from A to B.
Yep.
Being a Lonely Hearts advert in Say It With Me, guys. 1, 2, 3.
Le Chanel. Okay.
Chris didn't even fucking
I
say it
fucked
that
up 'cause
time.
I totally
Chris,
forgot.
you're slacking, man.
I forgot it. I was trying to think
All right,
about
stoner.
Man,
it. I just
Fucking
forgot.
pothead.
you've
It's
just
very
listened
similar to
to
Bella Kiss, though. He was only after money.
yeah, and but Bella Kiss also put all of the bodies drained of blood in giant barrels, which is cool as shit
That's
and
true.
pickled them. For some reason, the pickling part escapes me from time to time.
The
That's
pickler.
pretty sweet, though. It's nice of him to,
I mean,
to
it's-
tickle.
Yeah.
Not tickle. The pickle.
Tickle?
Pickle.
He pickled them.
He pickled them like
Tickle?
like
Like-
pickles.
Like the tickle... What?
Like, cooked them in a brine.
Scratch with his tickle?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Mustachioed
See, look,
meat Muppet
Jason's saying yes.
people. Pickler.
Tickler.
I guess maybe he tickled them before he pickled them. That's probably true.
Or maybe after. Who knows when tickling's the best for the
Yeah.
tickler, you know?
Yeah.
That's gross.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Where's the satisfaction come from? You know where
From
it
the
comes
tickles.
from? Another satisfacting is not a fucking word, James.
Oh.
But you know what is? Fast acting.
Fast acting and satisfactory.
Satisfactory?
Satisfactory fast acting. Wonderful. Ticklish episode of See No, Hear No, Speak No.
That's right. The UFOs, the conspiracies, and the Craigslist murders.
James Conan.
La Journal Murders.
Okay, first, Chris, I was really hoping you were gonna say and Le Journal Murders, so I'm glad that you came back in and said it, because that just warmed my heart. And James, I think you found a niche, and I think you fit nicely into this niche.
James Conan.
Good timing on that one.
I like the question mark at the end of that one, because I don't know either.
Yeah.
But man,
Yep.
what a fun time we had. Count down. 3,
Alright, you sluts.
2, 1. Good night, every and all.
Ain't nothing gonna break in the sky.